Hi, Leather Rokk here. Welcome to my channel. You like my hair? I did it again. We're going to do some baking tonight. Cranberry, blueberry, walnut muffins. And I had to get creative with the recipe because, you know, I can't leave well enough alone. You know how I am. So join me in my... And this is going to be fun because I've got a lot of cords to try not to trip over. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Yes, it will be fun. And it'll be tasty. I wish you could join me and eat some of this. Oh yeah. Just saying. All right. Be very, very careful here. Try not to trip over anything. Oh, and that was just Tabby boy. You know, he has talent of deliberately avoiding. He knows I'm going to go live. And he decides that he doesn't want to be on camera. That's okay. I'm going to steal him shortly. But now, if you tuned in the last time, you know that I got a new webcam here, and it's much more of a wide angle. So I have to be really careful with how I aim it because I have to make sure that I'm obviously in the shot. Here's my muffin tin here, and here's my walnuts. But I don't want this power to go out, so I'm going to get the cord. I'm going to be right back. Don't wait. Okay. On this kind of later than I wanted to. You know, I wanted to do this before midnight. But you know what? I screwed up. Wasn't the first time, won't be the last. Actually, I fixed myself some dinner, and then I did some meditating in front of one of my candles, and then I fell asleep a little bit. And of course, I wasn't dressed, and I had to get dressed and all that. So I got the muffin pan out. I got the walnuts. I got a bag of dried cranberries here, and there's blueberries in the mix. So you don't think I was going to do the cheap way out and just make a mix and not be creative with it. You don't want to watch that. That would be boring. You don't tune into my channel to be bored, do you? So I got this, but I have to do something with these cranberries. They're dried cranberries, and they're probably still a little dry. Hi, Amir. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. So I'm going to put, and I'm not even going to measure this either. I'm going to put some into one of these grab-it pans, Corningware. They're my mother. She loves Corningware. I've never loved Corningware too much because you got to really be careful with the fire on this. You got to keep on a low flame, and they're breakable. And you know, these are, you're supposed to be able to go from the freezer directly to the stove. I don't like to do that. I don't care what they say. I like to get things to room temperature before putting them on the stove because it seems to me that can make things break and all that. So the directions for this calls for a half a cup of water or milk. I don't feel like getting out the dehydrated milk and going through all that bullshit. So I'm just going to use water. But I'm going to use the liquid from what I'm going to use to soften these up. So that's what I'm going to do. And I have a measuring cup here. I'm going to get a half a cup of water. I should probably get a little bit more than that because you know some of the water is going to evaporate during the boiling process. So there we go. Let's see if I can even see. Be nice to see. Oh, I'm guessing that. No, I need a little more. These squares are really wonderful. Yeah. Okay. I hope you can hear this all right. There's a big fan underneath. don't have a fan. I'm just going to sweat to death. Can't you see this? Am I still wearing the N95 mask? Actually, I am fully vaccinated. I haven't paid much attention to what's been going on in my state, whether or not they awakened the mask mandate. If they're not telling us that we have to wear masks, I'm not bothering with it unless I see a whole bunch of little kids running around and I can't get away from them because little kids are too young to be vaccinated, and you know they're notorious little germ spreaders. And since you can still get the virus and transmit it even though you've been vaccinated, especially this Delta variant, and the last thing I want to do is get exposed to it and bring it home to my mom because she's 80 years old. And I don't want her getting this. You know, some people, they get this virus, it could kill them. She's got heart failure. I'm not going to take any chances with my mom. You guys who have mothers and love them, you wouldn't want to take chances either. Now, I'm going to try to do this very carefully. I love my new webcam. See this? Now, I'm going to, see, I knew it. I'm going to, there. You see me okay? Now, I'm going to put this on the stove. Well, just to soften them up. They're not real hard, but they want to be soft and plump for this recipe. And while I'm at it, I'm going to chop these a little bit. Now, actually, I have pre-chopped walnuts in the fridge, but I think they're too crumbly. And for these muffins, I would like some kind of texture. So, I'm going to open up the walnuts. Actually, got them from the freezer. And I set them inside the oven. It's not been turned on yet, even though I have to preheat it. But just want to grind these very coarsely. You know what? I'm not going to. Yeah, I will. Hold on a second. Okay. Got my grinder here. This was the original wheat grinder, you know. And I hope I make you guys hungry. Unless, of course, you don't have any food, in which case that would be very cruel, and I don't want to do that. So, like the way my hair turned out, it's the same dye I did before. I just put it in again, and I processed it with heat this time. So, gotta make you wonder, when you get a cheaper dye, but you have to use 2 bottles of it, is it really a bargain? But it was worth it being able to do a quick walk to a place as opposed to walking about 5 miles each way. I mean, I don't mind the exercise, it keeps me nice and skinny, but in this heat, do you really want to be walking and walking and walking? I don't. Okay, that should be good enough. Oh, look who I caught. I caught her alive with, here's my tabby boy. Oh, my baby, 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 baby. You want to see my N95 mask? Well, you know what? I think I can grab one just for you. Oh, you want to see my kitty? Please do not put your paws in my mouth. I have to wash my mouth out with soap. Oh my goodness. You're going to give me the gungy bungies. The pussycat gungy bungies. Look, there's my tabby boy. Isn't he pretty? Yeah, pretty rotten. All right. Now, I'm here just for you. I'm going to get a face mask. Hold on. All right. You know I'm doing this just for you, right? Well, I could wear this. I know I'm pissing off a bunch of Democrats right now. Oh well, you guys will live. I mean, you got what you wanted, right? You got Dementia Joe in. You see what he did with Afghanistan. I hope you guys are happy. This is the smaller version of the N95. It's not the KN95. This is the kind that the medical people use. I don't want to look like a duck, okay? Quack, 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 quack. You know, they say if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it might be a duck. Well, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a quack, okay? But, hey, I did that just for you. You know what? Since I touched my cat, I gotta wash my hands. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you this ring. Isn't it beautiful? Wish.com cost me less than $3. It's totally fake, but it's pretty. And you know, you can cover these with clear nail polish, and that way they never turn on you. All right. Always wash your hands when you get ready to prepare food. I cleanse thee of thy sinful ways. So mote it be. Ooh, yeah. Oh, speaking of witchcraft, can you see this? Here, get close. My kitty and my hearts. And I want you to see this heart here. It's actually a map of the world. And it has a peace sign in the back. I got it when I lived in San Francisco. So, got these out here. And I'm going to turn the fire off on the, matter of fact, let me see how far. Can you see? Okay, the cord doesn't go any. Oh my goodness. My computer almost crashed and fell. That would really suck if that happened. I can't afford to get in another one. And the thing is, I need a better computer. This only has 4 gigabytes of RAM. I need at least 16, but my next computer is going to have 16 gigabytes of RAM or maybe even 32 gigabytes of RAM. Because I'm a power user. I can't multitask with this thing. It drives me batshit. So let me give you a little bit more of an angle here. Oh. That's the one thing about this. Trying to position it right so you guys can see everything. That's kind of not easy. You know what? Go bend this further back here and then there. I hope that's not. Bear with me. I'm still getting used to. Nope. It would be nice to have a camera crew. It'd be nice to have a budget. If I'm going to have a budget like that, I'll go ahead and get my bus already so we can get the hell out of here. All right, now, of course, you cannot see my working area, so You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it on this table. That's what I'm going to do. How's that? Maybe that will make it easier for everybody to see what the hell I'm doing. And you wonder why my videos suck, okay? Nope. All right. Here we go. Ah, damn it. That was just a can opener. Right in here. This is a real pain in the backside, isn't it? Okay, and you still can't see what the hell I'm doing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the cranberries. They're safely here. I have a feeling this is not enough of the liquid that I'm going to need. So I'm going to add some more water to make it what I hope is a half a cup. This is a real pain in the ass. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm really having a hard time positioning this damn thing. And the whole idea was that I was going to have this so you could actually see what the hell I was doing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put these things on a box so it's lifted higher so you can see. How's that? And of course, I got to get a bowl out. And this one will do. I'm obviously not a professional cook. If I was smart, I'd be tying my hair back, but I want you to see my hair, okay? I'm so happy with the color. It's finally dark and bright enough. And I think I'm going to mount the fan so it doesn't blow up, so that this powder doesn't go all over the place when I open up. Now, first thing I'm going to do is preheat the oven. It says preheat it to 400 or 375 for dark or non-stick. Well, this is dark, and it doesn't matter whether it's non-stick or not since you're using baking things, you know, the liners. So I'm going to go ahead and do it to 375, and I'm going to get the liners here. Liners are great if you don't have a whole lot of oil. Do I have the N95 ductile mask? Actually, I have the auras in the other room. I mean, I have probably 3 or 4 dozen face masks all told. And I always like to have them with me because you never know if you're going to go into a place that requires masks. Incidentally, there's a chance I may be going up to New York City for the 9/11 anniversary. And of course, on public transportation, you do have to wear masks. So I will be bringing some masks with me. I would like to get a bunch of footage of New York City. I have not been in New York City in almost 10 years. I miss it terribly. Of course, I'm trying to find out if I can get there cheaper than Transit or Greyhound. The last time I checked, it was about $50 for a round trip, and I really don't want to spend that much money. because all the money I don't spend means I have money for other things, and I want to get some more electronics. I also want to learn how to use the camcorder I have and the little digital camera and that cell phone that was given me that does not have a plan on it, the data plan, because it would be so nice if I could join the rest of the world and be able to have something tiny and portable along with me that I could create content with. Of course, then I'd have to import it into a computer so I could do the editing and all that crap. But you know what? If everybody else can learn to do it, then I can do it too. I just have to figure it out. So I'm gonna, okay, now that the oven is preheating and the tins are in the baking sheet, I'm gonna open up this Betty Crocker mix. My mother was almost gonna make these the other day because we're out of bread. And I told her, I said that I was going to do this on live stream. So, and the thing is, if I'd had duplicates of it, it wouldn't have mattered. But, because then I just used another one when I did the live thing. I could smell the blueberries in this. Now, the secret, though, with these things is the blueberries and these are artificial. But they do smell good. And when you mix them up, even when you bake them, they're dry and they're hard and they don't feel very plump like real blueberries do. But the price was right. My N95 is in the studio and I'm in the kitchen right now. So I've done enough interrupting of my cooking and I got to think about everybody else that might be losing patience with me right about now. People do that, you know. So now I am going to measure the liquid again. Okay, where did I put the measuring cup? Okay, here we go. This is a really great, I keep on wanting to call this Pyrex. I don't know if it is or not, or maybe Anchor Hawking. It's Anchor. So, but it's good and sturdy, it's heat resistant. Oh, I wish I could say the same thing for my hand. Check my hand. Now, I'm going to use this to not have the berries become part of the liquid measurement. Whoops, it would help if I actually did this so you could see what I was doing. Okay. Here. Ooh. I'm going to get this in the I was thinking if I get a little bit too much liquid in there, all I have to do is add a little bit more flour to this. That should be all right. All right, let me see if this is a half a cup or not. The floors are not level, so I'm going to have to actually put this. This is, I think, the levelest part of my house here are the cabinets. So let's see. And that looks like, you know what? I need a little bit more liquid. So, but maybe if I squeeze these berries here, I will have that extra. And they're so much better when you boil them a little bit. Good. All right. There's a half a cup. Still needs a wee little bit more water. So what I'll do is I'm going to set this right here. Oh, I see now here, it does look like it's a half a cup. So, okay. And if it's not, let's lie and say it is. All right. You really like that mask, don't you? So you want me to get ugly on camera just to make you happy. Now, let me think of where it is. Okay, I'm going to pour. I guess I should just pour that liquid in. It says, okay, yeah, stir them up and mix in water just until blended. So you can't stir this too much because if you do, then things get tough and stuff. But then again, if you don't mix it enough, then you have bits of powder in the mix. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let me at least get this mixed and pour it into the pans. And once I do that, then I can go dig for that mask for you. Okay? And I'm sure I'm going to be hearing from the anti-maskers. Hi, Char. How you doing? How's your cats? Okay, I'm going to pour this in. And then I'm going to get this, and I'm going to pour the berries in. These are good. Good for you. Good for your digestion. Good for your urinary tract. If you find yourself getting a UTI, take your blueberries. You might not have to go to a doctor. You know? Cranberries are safe for cats to eat too. I mean, not that they would gravitate towards sweets, but they won't hurt them. And don't forget the nuts here. I cut my nails down to very, very short so that I can play guitar all right. So I don't bother doing anything with my nails. I know it looks better when you're on camera, but I can't function with nails. I can't do the things I need to do. Now, you see, I didn't break these up enough. This is so unprofessional. You know, I am cooking, right? And I've got broken, wet, oily nuts on my hand. Maybe after I get this stuff in the mix, I will do that. You know what? I should probably mix these things first before I do any of that. I don't know whether these other ingredients that I've added to this is going to change the consistency of this batter or not, but we'll find out. Now, when I was making my dinner earlier today, I used some leftover rice and I mixed it with canned pork and some green beans and some another kind of beans. So I was just wanting to use up leftovers and things. And the little bit of rice that I had in the rice cooker was just a small amount. So after I heated it, then I saw this other package in the Ziploc bag of cooked rice. Oh. Well, when you think of how cats share 95% of their DNA with the big wild cats like your tigers and your lions and your bobcats and things. So they say all cats have a touch of wild in them. All right, I guess I don't want to mix this too much. Now it's time to, okay, I don't think the lumps are in it anymore. You know what, I should probably mount this light so you can see it better. I really like that little ring light. I was supposed to get a nice big stand-up microphone, like a big one, like a Rush Limbaugh mic, but that they forgot to order. So now one of my many musician friends is supposed to give me a couple of tall mic stands that I could use for a microphone. I could also use to mount lights on. that would make dealing with this ring light easier. As you can see, it doesn't have a stand on it. It just has this tripod. And I have a tiny little ring light that you saw before that I've been using that as a night light so that I can have my computer right next to my bed and I can turn the rest of the lights out. It really comes in handy when I've had to call the cops on some ne'er-do-wells outside and I don't want them to figure out who called the cops, so I have to turn the lights out, you know. The other day we had right in front of our asshole next door neighbors, had these guys that were blasting rap music out of an open car. They had one of the doors open, and they were hanging out in front of the neighbors, starting at 3 o'clock in the morning. What do I feel if I'm wearing it? Well, sometimes it's a little hard to breathe. Sometimes I catch a glimpse of myself in a mirror, and I think I'm not looking my most attractive. But then again, protecting oneself is an attractive quality. When I see people that are doing a responsible thing, I think very highly of them. When I see people that are bragging about how they got the vaccine, I'm very proud of them. That said, if you've already had COVID, maybe you don't want to get the shot. Maybe your doctor is giving you advice that you shouldn't take it. Everybody's situation is different. But the reason why we're having so many people getting seriously sick with this Delta variant, 95% of them have not been vaccinated. So really, I encourage you, if you haven't yet, please do get the shot. It might save somebody you love's life. And especially considering that the FDA has not approved for kids under 12 to get it yet. But a lot of schools, a lot of places aren't letting you go unless you've been vaccinated. And now Florida, there is a $5,000 fine if you ask somebody if they've been vaccinated. I think that's kind of bullshit because people have a right to feel safe around each other, and I feel safer when I know that my fellows are vaccinated. You got your vaccine, that's good. All right, I don't know how much of this I should throw in here. I could throw in some chocolate too, but I'm not going to get carried away. And I got oily hands. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Okay, I'm going to take, and don't you know, I did get one of these things wet. Probably wasn't smart to do that, but you know. I'm going to dry this off. Oh hell, I'll use a towel. I'm sure if there was any professional cooks watching, they'd be cringing right about now. But I'm not a professional cook. I would not want to work around food because I don't want to get fat, all right? That scares me so much, losing my figure. I was so glad when the doctor weighed me and said I was 106 pounds. You know, that's normal weight. I'm very happy. I'm in the best shape of my life, except that I don't have as much muscles as I did when I was working out real hardcore. I really into kickboxing. There's so much fun. Kickboxing, it feels good moving the body and just doing all those things. It's just really, really groovy. And there's so many good coaches and workout professionals that have on-demand free videos that you can access now. Like if you have Comcast, they have this thing called On Demand, and you can get one of my favorite, if you're into working out, there's this guy from Israel. His name is Gilad Jankowitz. And he has this program called Total Body Fitness. And he does most of his shows out of Hawaii. But occasionally he goes back to Israel. And he's got really attractive men and women behind him. All different kinds of people. You know, and the guy's been doing this for like 30 or 40 years. He's no spring chicken. He's an Israeli. And he's got that Middle Eastern accent, you know. And Middle Eastern guys are pretty hot, you know. I mean, not when they're flying planes into buildings, mind you, but little gallows humor there. You know, we're coming on our 90-year anniversary. Are the N95s comfortable? Yes and no. They are kind of harder to breathe because you're conscious of the fact that you have to make effort in the inhale more than exhale. And when you exhale, they feel a little hot. And the aura is the one that looks most duck-like. It actually looks like an episode from the Twilight Zone where the people have the pig faces, except for the Marilyn Monroe chick. When they take the bandages off her, she still looks like a Marilyn Monroe type. And then in the end, you see that everybody else had those pig faces. Okay, spoon it into, okay, about a quarter cup each. So what, am I supposed to take a quarter cup measuring cup now for this? And I don't even know where the cups are. Here they are. Might as well measure. I'm glad you got the vaccine. So many people are scrambling to get it now when they're seeing how sick people are getting. I mean, little kids should not get it and then 4 days later get so sick that they die. That's not right. I mean, if you don't care about kids, of course, that said, you don't want to be like Texas. Did you hear about what they're doing in Texas where you can't have an abortion once the heartbeat's detected, and most women don't even know they're pregnant by that time. And they're actually paying people $1,000 to snitch off people who are trying to get these abortions after that heartbeat's detected. And they're finding people that provide transportation to people that are getting abortions. I'm Republican, all right? Everybody knows that. I'm pro-choice, too. If you say that life matters, all our lives should matter, right? I mean, what about our homeless people? How many of you people care about homeless people? There's so many people that trip over them and look at them as an inconvenience. You know, so many people are just one paycheck away from being homeless. So a little compassion is in order here. All right, so I'm supposed to put approximately a quarter cup of this in each of these muffin tins. And I've got this spatula here. I hope the fact that the cranberries were boiled and are still wet, they don't make this too waterlogged. The last thing I want is my muffins to be soggy. I don't like soggy bread. I like my bread to be textured and crusty and complex. You know, I never set out to have a baking channel, but maybe I'll devote my Tuesday nights to the baking, since that seems to be, lately Tuesday seems to be when this is going on. You know, I see my baking on my channel as kind of a substitute for my makeup tutorials, since the makeup tutorials are the least watched of any of my content. And but it makes me feel bad for the people that were my earliest subscribers who were really into the beauty stuff. But the numbers just aren't there. And if I put a lot of effort into something and people aren't into it, and most of the people that watch my content seem to be guys, and guys probably don't want to know how the sausage is made. You know, you want to think we all wake up like this. My mom is pretty good. I cut and colored her hair a couple days ago. That day that I missed, the last Tuesday, I missed because I cut and colored her hair early in the day. And she's so happy to have her hair colored again. But she flat out refused to do it on camera. And, you know, she has a right to not be exploited for my channel, even though I know that you guys love to see her. And a lot of the things is she doesn't like, she's afraid she's going to trip over all the cords that I have attached to my electronics. I don't blame her. When I cut and color her hair, I always do it here in the kitchen because the kitchen is what we use as our living room. Since my brother, when we first got this apartment, he took the living room as his bedroom. And I can understand his point because when you're the first person getting in the apartment, you know, I understand looking out for number one. That's just the survival instinct there. And I was hoping that we would be moving soon. But the thing is, they had cut off his unemployment benefits because they're trying to get people to come back to work. And I kind of understand that. And I was in support of that. And I wasn't realizing that it would affect my family. And his situation is similar to mine in that, you know, some people can't risk working on the books because it screws up their benefits or something. Well, if I work on the books too much, it would screw up my health insurance. So right now I have to be really careful. I'm so proud of myself. I hope I'm not repeating myself. I finally contacted Central Casting in California and corrected my files. The last time I worked at a movie, they wrote out the check in my dead name. And of course, I could never cash a check written under a name that's not mine anymore. So I had to correct my records. And just as well that I did because the Social Security Administration for years had been sending me a letter saying that my number didn't match their records. And that's a crock of horse manure because I never changed my Social Security number. I mean, why would I do something like that? But anyway, now that Central Casting has my records, the Social Security Administration knows that I'm the same person as my dead name and all's well with the world. And any day now, I'm going to be getting my check for that movie I did. And that means that I will have 180 days to get my photo ID again. I seem to have a real talent for getting away with not having photo ID. The thing is, I'm not trying to get into bars. I don't drink anymore. Yes, I do like to go out dancing and stuff. But come on, I think you can look at somebody and tell if they're under or over 21. As much as I do my skincare and stuff, I don't kid myself that I look like a kid, you know. That said, I heard that there's this new hyaluronic acid filler that lasts over a year. And when it becomes available in my area, I'm going to price it. I'm going to see just how much it is. Of course, I might die of a heart attack from the sticker shock. But that might be a better alternative than saving up for the Botox. It only lasts you like 4 months at a time before you got to get the shot again. And then if you're doing not just this, but this and this, that's a lot of money, you know, and I just don't have it coming in. This YouTube channel is not self-sustaining right now. I should start doing some affiliate marketing of some of the products that I like, because then if anybody buys anything, then I would get a percentage of the sale, and that's something that I could do since I haven't gotten to my 1,000 subscriber mark yet. And you need not just 1,000 subscribers, but you need 4,000 hours of watch time. And then that's not enough. Then YouTube has to look at your content and has to decide whether you're advertiser friendly or not. And the thing is that is such a general statement to make because there's all kinds of advertisers. I mean, some goody two-shoes company is not going to want to touch me because I run off the mouth sometimes, okay? But then there are products that would be interesting. And such as products in the cannabis industry. And since that's becoming legal in more and more places, here, I want you to actually see what I'm doing now. As you see, this is not going to be enough to do a whole dozen. That sucks. That really sucks because I thought that I would get a whole dozen out of this. Especially considering I'm doctoring these up with all this extra goodies. So, yeah, I'm going to try to get much of this. You know what? Here's what I'm going to use my finger and try not to get my hair in this. So I hope that you guys hear about the hostages the Taliban's holding, like over 100 Americans inside the airport in Afghanistan, in Kabul, at Hamid Karzai International Airport. You know, we keep on trying to rescue people out of there. And I still cannot believe the blundering that this current administration has done, putting all those lives at risk. Our American citizens, the people that helped the Americans, the interpreters, the cooks, all those people and their families are in danger. The Taliban, somebody told me that the Taliban has been finding female judges and has been stabbing them in the eyes to blind them. I mean, it's, you know, if there's any Muslims that are watching me, you got to admit what Taliban and groups like that are doing. They're giving you guys a bad name. And I know most of you guys don't support what they're doing, but it's really not helping for the peace and love feelings that the world should be having, you know. And I know there's good people all over the world. I've had the privilege through this mighty, mighty internet of meeting some outstanding people that I am so happy to know. But when you have these terrorist assholes running around killing all these innocent people, it's not helping the peace and love thing. It's not helping the relations in between different religions and different cultures and things. When you have people that just don't care about other people, that unless you believe their very narrow definition of what's okay within the scope of religion, you know, and most of the people being killed are their fellow Muslims. It's a shame. And this whole thing of treating women like that, going door to door, taking the women and girls out to use as sex slaves for Taliban fighters, that is so sick. I can't wrap my head around the cruelty that goes on in the world. And I can't wrap my head around the cruelty to animals that goes on in the world. Not just over there by the people in that country, but here in America. I'm always throwing out petitions to give harsh sentences to people that kill cats and dogs and things. And there's some real mean, cruel, sadistic sons of bitches. I cry sometimes when I see the things that people are doing to animals. You know, and we don't have harsh enough penalties for that. I think we need the death penalty. If you're going to torture an animal, there's no reason for that. There's no excuse for that. And I think this includes teenagers and kids. You can't tell me that you can rehabilitate somebody that tortures animals. And if you're going to do it to animals, sooner or later you're going to do it to other people. And we really need a death penalty for animal torture in this country. I think that would be a really good deterrent. But then you got places like the state of California that I know and love very much. They abolished the death penalty. And then when, in the height of the COVID outbreak, they were releasing people out of the prisons back into the regular population. I'm telling you, what's up is down, and what's down is up. What's right is wrong, and what's wrong is right. Things are seriously messed up. No wonder some of the really devout Bible-believing Christians believe we're in our end days. Now, I reserve judgment on that. The older I get, the less I believe in anything except myself. But you gotta admit there's some really messed up things going on. Okay, I don't think I can get any more out of this thing. So I'm gonna put it in the sink and I'm gonna run some water on it. Oh, I'm glad my tea's hung. I'm getting thirsty. I keep a hot pot with tea on like 24 hours a day. And it's really nice. And since it's diluted enough, the caffeine content's not too high. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're not even all the same size. That's kind of messed up. Thinking, should I add some more? Yeah, why not? This will add to the nutrition in these too. So, what do you guys think about my going to New York? You think I can get away with carrying my laptop around for filming like I do around here? Or do you think I'll get mugged or something? And I haven't been in New York in so long. And it doesn't bother me if people think what I'm doing is odd. I mean, I have to create content for my channel. And if I'm going to go do something exciting and historic, of course I want to take you guys along on my adventure. You know? Boy, it feels like peanut butter in here. It's so nice having grinders, though. Okay, these things aren't being used, so I'm going to take these out. Oh. Now I'm going to It's a shame I can't take stills at the same time as I'm doing this, but obviously when you're live streaming, plus I'm not going to take any chances of screwing up. This is what this looks like, and I'm going to put it in the oven. Hold on. Woo! Okay, the time is 2:16 in the morning. Oh. Now, while we're doing the baking thing here, I'm going to pour some tea. I am thirsty. If anybody's watching from Washington, D.C., shout out to the nice folks at the Georgetown Presbyterian Church. The last time I was there, they had a whole bunch of mugs, black ones and white ones, and they said, help yourself. So I did. Now, I didn't go to that church to go to the services. I went to that church, I forget if it's Saturday or Sunday, they have a really great dinner for your economically disadvantaged guys and dolls. And I have a very good friend who lives in Washington, D.C. Like, we live 7 blocks from the White House, as a matter of fact. And he volunteers at the Peace Vigil in Lafayette Park, which is right across from the White House. He's a very dear friend of mine. I've known since I lived in Hollywood. And he is also a very talented artist. And I featured him on my channel. And if you watch any of my Washington, D.C. videos, you've definitely seen him. Anyway, he takes me to all those groovy places when I'm in town. And I would love to go back there. Of course, between the COVID and those Antifa and Black Lives Matter nut jobs that are gunning for people who wear the MAGA hat like me, I think I should wait a couple more months or something. And now that it's going to be starting to get cold pretty soon, I probably won't be safe to go there until at least late spring, you know. So I'm going to pour some tea. Better rinse the dried coffee out of here. You know what? I want to throw this someplace, but I don't want to throw it. So I'll just hang it on the kitchen. Oh, this is actually a one-piece bathing suit, and it's bigger than my size, but you know what? And it covers my navel piercing, so I'm still wearing in case my belly button fan comes in. Yes, I got my jewelry. So, okay. You know what? This needs another tea bag. I can actually get away with using one tea bag, and I can make it in a whole pot of tea. But then you take a cup or two out, and then you put some more water in, and it boils again. And you know, so I want some flavor in my tea. Dr. Oz says after you steep it, you're supposed to dunk it 100 times. See, it's getting darker already. Oh, I splashed hot tea on myself. See, fishnets give you no protection from splashes. But at least when you wear them indoors, you can't get sunburn. And obviously, at night, that's not an issue either. You know what? I'm going to add some more water to this. This has 2 temperatures on it. This has low and high. And I'm going to put it back on high so that it boils faster. Yeah, so, all right. And because this is going to be a little too hot, I'm going to put an ice cube in. Oh boy. I have not been getting enough sleep. I stayed up 24 hours a couple times this week. Sometimes I stay up till past noon because I've been talking to Instant Messenger overseas. I mean, I talked to Ron, I talked to Jordan last night. I have talked to England, I've talked to Australia. You know, I can't help it. I have friends all over the world. Another great thing about the internet is you can meet people, good people all over the world. You know, oh, and good kitties. Oh, but I don't get kitties from all over the world. Well, my friends have good kitties, and they're all over the world. But I got my kitty I found right here. I found you actually about 4 miles up north. I found you the little baby. You just everybody show your pretty face. Daddy boy. Oh, my baby. Yeah, put me down. Help me. Help me. Oh, he's got spots on his belly. Look, he's got spots on his belly. Oh, no, don't do that. Oh, look, look at the spots on his belly. Oh, oh, kiss, kiss, kiss. I love you too. Here. Oh, want to see a fight? Oh, look at this. She was trying to drink water, so I put her back. All right. Yeah. I'm not a troublemaker, right? Oh, I showed you guys my earrings, didn't I? Now, let me see if I can find that mask for you. Hold on a second. All right. Before I find the aura, I found this is your KN95, a nice purple one. Got this on wish.com. And it matches my hair. And it gives nice facial coverage. This is probably what I wear on the bus. But I'll probably wear the red ones. I got red ones and I got purple ones. Yes, this is very comfortable. It has a metal thing for the nose. And you can tell I've washed this a number of times because it's got the fuzzies on it. Now, I'm trying to think where the KN95 is because I don't want to be going away from the camera and then people get pissed off. And I notice when people watch my videos, people a lot of times don't watch all the way through, which I never understood that. If I'm going to watch somebody's video, I watch it from start to finish. But when I look at my analytics, people watch for a few minutes at a time. I don't know what's up with that. I mean, do my videos suck that badly? Or do I talk too much or what? I don't know what you guys' problem is. Let me see if I can find his aura mask. Hold on a second. All right. Amir, this is just for you. Now, I don't want anyone to say that I don't care about my audience and I don't do things just for them. Just because Amir wants to see me wear this ugly, scary looking mask, I'm going to do it. I should get an Academy Award for this. You know, the women that get the Academy Awards, they're not afraid to get ugly on camera. Well, here. Quack, 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 quack. And what do you think? Hey, some people were wearing this when I got my first COVID shot. Some of the military people were wearing it. This is not an attractive mask. I don't care. It's not good looking, but you know what? You want to be protected from the COVID? This is the best. The N95s, this is made from 3M. It's hot. You can feel the heat here, but the air is being filtered. Give you the close-up look. You've got to be really careful taking them off because they slip over. And especially if you're wearing earrings, it's can be really problematic. And if your hair starts to get sweaty, because these actually use rubber bands on the back, so they can get tangled in your hair if it's long. Now this mask here, this was actually from a package that was sent out by the Centers for Disease Control. And as you can see, it's got lipstick stain on the inside. And these just go like this. It's just cloth. They're easy to breathe in, but I think it's only 2 layers, so they're pretty useless. I mean, if you're going to wear a mask, you're wearing a mask because you're wanting some protection from virus particles, and you want something that filters what you're breathing out so that you don't put your friends and neighbors and enemies and everybody else at risk. So it makes sense that if you're going to wear a face mask, you're going to wear the kind that actually has a chance of doing some good. So that's why the N95 and the KN95 are the ones that you should wear. And remember how in the beginning they were saying to save these medical masks for the medical professionals? And then as we got deeper into the pandemic, they were saying, you know, no, you shouldn't wear just any old mask. You should wear the best masks you can get, especially since companies have ramped up production of face masks and stuff. And now with this Delta variant, it's so much more contagious. And when people are getting it, they're getting so much sicker and you're dying like within 4 days, and kids are getting sick and dying and stuff. So they really are recommending that you get your hands on an N95 or a KN95 mask, since we have enough for our healthcare workers. You see military wearing them and stuff. So yeah, and they're easy to get now. You can get them at places like Walgreens and CVS and Rite Aid and things. You can also get surgical masks, which are pretty good, but are not. The surgical masks are the easiest to breathe in, and that's what you usually see when you go to your doctor's offices and your hospitals. And this summer, I've been seeing lots of doctors, and I've been in hospitals and stuff. And I'm so glad that I don't have any bad news on the medical front. I was so relieved about that. But you always have to wear face masks when you go to see doctors and hospitals and things. Okay, let me see what it said the timing was supposed to be. Oh, it says bake 16 to 21 minutes or until light golden brown. So, it could be any minute or, but if it says up to 21 minutes, I'm going to take a look at what it looks like. Oh, here it is. This is from Christmas, okay? Hello, Cassie. She can't hear. really pretty, but I don't think they're dark enough. They're smelling good. I wish you could smell my kitchen right now. Oh, so I want to ask you guys something. Do you think it's bad luck to wear, I mean, not that I believe in luck or anything. We make our own luck in life. I had a whole bunch of floating hearts, and I stacked them all in a necklace. But then I took most of them off, so I only have 2 at a time. Don't you think that it's best to only wear 2 hearts at one time on a chain so that it doesn't complicate things? Unless, of course, you were in a throuple or a triad or something, in which case maybe 3 would be appropriate. But if you're thinking of one person, it's best to just wear the 2 at one time so as not to put murky energies into things. You know, I don't want to screw anything up. You know, I don't want to, it's like, you know how gamblers are sometimes a little bit superstitious and they don't want to take chances because you got money on the line. You don't want to put anything at risk. Well, money's not the only thing at risk in life. Sometimes people just don't want to ruin a good thing. And that's kind of where my head's at right now. I don't want to take any stupid chances. But I've always liked hearts and heart jewelry, even when I felt that I would just be alone for the rest of my life and be miserable. And it used to get to me and stuff. And then I got to a large amount of time where I just didn't give a damn, you know. But sometimes a heart representation can actually mean something, you know. So I'm going to add some lemon to this. This is a brand that I've never heard of. I'm going to assume it's from Italy since it's called Italia. Italia Garden, perfectly lemon. And yes, it's certified organic at Bologna, Italia. Bologna. Bologna. I always thought that Blogna was pronounced bologna. But of course, in America, a lot of people say it Baloney. We have a pizza place here called Tony Bologna's, and that's how he spells it. And their salads and their sandwiches are great. I'm not a pizza girl because I don't eat cheese. So, got some lemon, and this is the generic version of Sweet and Low. It's called Sweet Mate. They sell it at Dollar Tree. Of course, sometimes they'll have the packaging 125 packets, and that's even better. So lately I've been getting some baking supplies at the Dollar Tree. But you know what pissed me off? 3 days in a row I was trying to go there and I got there too late and it was closed. And I wanted to get some butter pecan ice cream. I have all these nuts in the freezer. I could add extra pecans to the ice cream, right? I finally got there when the store was open. They didn't have any ice cream. And when it comes to ice cream, I'll only eat ice cream if it's a flavor I really, really love. Because why put the calories in you if you don't really love it, right? So anyway, they didn't have what I wanted, and I have this hang up about going into stores and leaving empty-handed. So I spent $1 on some glucosamines for my mother. It helps with her arthritis pain. I wanted to start on them myself, but especially when you can get them so cheap. My mother hurts every day. That's the thing is, she says some days she hurts and she takes, she has a prescription for pain pills, and they're not narcotics or anything. It's just a form of ibuprofen or something. So, but like every day, my mother's in pain. So when you asked how she's doing, I forgot to mention that. Me, I do have arthritis, but only occasionally do I feel anything. And ideally, I smoke enough weed, and that keeps me from being in pain too much. It really does help. But I can't find any. And when you do, you run into a dealer that sells you something with poison or something or in chew like that. You saw my video about that, right? Where that asshole took back some of the weed. Of course, the dummy me hands him the money first. I would never do that again. I mean, that was my screw up. Oh. I'm really smelling those muffins. I should probably check that soon. I'm glad I let this sit for a while because, man, I'm thirsty. And when it's too hot, you can't drink it too fast. That was fast. Okay, I think it's time to check these again. Put this back here. Here, let me get this out of the way so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Oh. I'm going to guess. Let's be honest. Okay, I'm going to set this here. Close this. Turn this oven off. You know, when it's still technically summer and you don't have air conditioning, putting on the oven is not fun. You guys with air conditioning, it must be nice. Oh, you know what? I can tilt the fan up a little now. I hope you can still hear me when I do that. Oh, you wonder why I don't wear so much clothes. This is bad. Plus, I can. Now, oh, if I had a hair tie, and right now I would feel like tying it. Oh, hot. Now, this is when I'm supposed to test for doneness by sticking something in. They say use a toothpick. Usually, I use a chopstick since that is what I have the most of. And this is my bag of chopsticks. I'm a firm believer in chopsticks. I don't eat Chinese food with a knife and fork. I use chopsticks. Let's see. Is it clean? Yes, it's clean. Yes, they're done. Oh, it's a hot nut. Oh. Okay, it says you're supposed to let them cool in the pan before you do anything else for 5 minutes. So it is now 20 minutes of 3. Wow. I feel my second wind now. I'm not tired at all. And here's the guide. It says, yes, cool for 5 minutes. Then carefully remove from pan if muffins are not paper cups, so obviously they are. Cool for storing. Who the hell is going to store muffins? I mean, really, a half a dozen muffins, how soon do they think they're going to last? I mean, are they serious? Just like when you bake a batch of cookies and you're lucky if you get a dozen. And they talk about storing them. What planet are they on? If I'm going to bake a bunch of cookies, they're going to go here and they're going to go here. There is no storing. That's where you got to bake in batches. And the thing is, I don't think we have enough trays to do batches. I think we have 2 if you take into account the one that's slightly warped because of pizza was baked on it. You know? And the thing is, you don't want to get, they have, I'm sure at dollar stores, you can get really cheap bakeware and stuff with that kind of coating on it that will scratch off right away. And that's not good as an investment because once it scratches off, you can get flakes of Teflon or whatever it is and eat that, and that's not good. So, oh, I'm hot. I'm hot. So, anything else you guys want to talk about? You know, I'm open to suggestions. I certainly vibe off of what people say in the chat room. Except for that day when people got a little out of control, all those gamers came in. But still, you know, I run with it. But on the subject of gaming, if any of you guys play video games, one of my friends turned me on to a new game. Well, it's not a new game. It's been around for a while. It's called Grand Theft Auto. It's Grand Theft Auto 5. And there's this guy, he has a channel called Carpo Gaming. He did an 8-hour live stream of playing Grand Theft Auto. And it was fun. I was getting into it. They had, I guess, different superhero characters, and by the time I tuned in, it was quick in the chat room. We were talking, my friend and I, and the superhero that was doing it this time around when I was watching was Superman, and it was a real muscly Superman. I'm telling you, it was fun watching the action. He would shoot lasers out his eyes and make things blow up, and he would punch targets, and he would throw things, and cars would smash into things, and this would blow up, and that would blow up, and he'd punch people, and he'd fly the way Superman does, and it was fun. I didn't see a whole lot of driving, which I would think Grand Theft Auto would involve people driving, but I'm a little bit more old school when it comes to video games, but that was fun, so I could see getting into that. I don't have a gaming console or anything. I would play the kind of games that you could play with the computer. Now, on a Windows-based computer, I noticed, at least with the HPs that I had and the Lenovo that I had the last time around, when you weren't on the internet, if you got bounced off the internet, it had this game called the Surfer that you could play if you didn't have anything better to do. And I got into it. It was a real easy game that you just used the left and the right arrow. And the Surfer was like on a pivot, and you go left or right, and you'd have different obstacles that you would veer away from, like rocks and people and jetties and fishing piers and boats and things. And if you're looking for something to pass the time, that was fun. Also, on the Comcast cable system, they have games there my mother was getting into. There was a game that was kind of like Scrabble, and you could get these different levels. And the thing is, after a while, it got really harder and harder, and the highest level she was able to get was level 22, and they would give her only vowels. It would be impossible for her to make words. You're trying to make the word could be a maximum of 7 letters. And my mother was a high school English teacher before she had me, so she's sharp up here. But she finally got bored with it. Now that their cable's back on, she's back to watching the TV shows. I haven't gotten to watch TV yet, though, because my TV in my room is broken. I need to take that out. It's unplugged from the cable, but it's still hooked up to the set box. But there is a TV, a little flat screen TV here in the kitchen. It's not little. It's like nice size. It's bigger than this computer is. And it's a flat screen. I've never had a flat screen before. The the TV I have in my room right now that's broken is from a company called Daewoo. I never heard of them before. But it's the kind, with the big right in the back where the tubes are or something. But all I have to do is take that out and set that outside. And then I'll be able to have a TV and I'll be able to watch the news and get depressed like the rest of you guys. But you know what I've been using for my Fox News channel replacement? On Facebook, they have a channel called Newsmax, and that's also a cable TV channel, and I was familiar with them from the emails. I would get the news emails. And it's also on Comcast cable system, and it's on a lot of cable systems, and also they're on YouTube. Well, if you're interested on Facebook, the Newsmax channel on Facebook actually they play videos that are 8 hours of their programming. So that would be the equivalent of spending an afternoon or evening watching a day's news. If you're tuning in on the weekend, it'll show you 8 hours of their Friday programming. So, and Fox News Channel, I understand, has become a little less conservative this year. And it had more and more people that have been disloyal to President Trump. So I'm having a little bit less of a high view of Fox News Channel since I think they're being disloyal to their basic base. I mean, I could see being fair and balanced, but they're going to be overly critical of your bread and butter and the people that made you what you are. That's kind of, I'm going to be critical of that. But Newsmax is really good programming, and they have people like Sean Spicer. He has a program called Spicer and Company, and a lot of people whose names you would recognize. And what I did was, because I still wanted to work my day job and having different tabs open, doing different tasks and stuff, that's how I get paid. I would have the Newsmax thing playing on Facebook, And then I would go back to my day job tabs, and so I'd would make a little bit of money, and I'd still be able to hear the news. But the only thing is that my fan runs so loud in my room that it's really makes it hard to hear my computer. And I had to stop using my Chrome browser because it was crashing like every hour. It was driving me nuts. Now, well, how would you feel if you were trying to do something on your computer and every hour the screen froze? Because I only have 4 gigabytes of RAM, so I ditched using Chrome and I put on a new browser called Opera, and that runs much smoother. The only thing is some of the other things that I do for my income stream, I need to have Chrome so that I can have the cookies go to my YouTube, and then I export the cookies and I send them to this company. And you can get $50 a month by doing this. The only thing is that it only runs on Chrome. So what I've been doing is I use Opera most of the time, and then once or twice a week I go back on Chrome. I get the cookies from Facebook, do the export thing, send it to the company using my Gmail, and that seems to make them happy. And hopefully, in a month, I'll have an additional $50, and that comes in handy for things like bus fare to New York City, for instance. So I gotta find out if I can take a cheaper bus than New Jersey Transit, because it used to be a bus that went from the bus terminal straight to Chinatown in Lower Manhattan. And from there, that's an easy walking distance to Ground Zero, where I need to be the morning of the 11th. So I really need to see if I can find a cheaper bus, because I don't want to blow $50 just on bus fare. And I don't know, it might be even more expensive than that. Whenever gas price rises, the bus fare goes up. All right, I guess it's been 5 minutes. I got to take these out of here and put them on wire racks, and I keep the wire racks here. Of course, putting that on a hot stove seems kind of ridiculous. Well, I don't know that I really have much choice. Let's see. I really would like to set things on a box or something. I know. I'll use this cookbook. I'll find another box or something. Just so I don't have a direct heat. Now this has plastic on it. Here. I'll use this book. Tracy Morgan cookbook. I'm so glad he recovered from his limo crash. He got seriously injured, poor guy. He was laid up for a while. That was one of the things that was kind of heartbreaking. They interviewed him for People magazine, I think, and he was talking about the pandemic. And he was saying he couldn't wait for this pandemic to be over so that he could just hug everybody. And I know how he feels. When I went to that cannabis expo a couple months ago, it was the first big public crowd I got to be in unmasked. And it felt so good to be liberated from that face mask and to be around all these people that had one thing in common. We like marijuana. And just, I like crowds. See, my mother doesn't understand this because she doesn't like crowds. A lot of people don't like crowds. I find crowds to be very energizing. I guess I'm going to need to use a fork to lift these out. Very nicely. So, I'm going to give you a close-up of my muffin here. Oh, these smell good. On the cooling rack. And it looks nice with the nuts on top also, as well as in the batter. Mm. I didn't know that this would only get a half a dozen. And hey, what do you want for 99¢? Even though technically these are worth more than that, considering the cranberries and the walnuts I put in them. I mean, they're all the same, right? I see a hot nut. Mm. Oh, those nuts taste better when they bake a little bit. They get crunchy. Mm. Now, this is some of the batter got on the pan. I'm tasting it now. It tastes good. So I should let this cool before trying to eat it. I'll show you kind of what it looks like. I think they taste better pour off though. I really do. I'll nibble just a little bit in front of the camera just so that you can see that they are good. But you know what? I bet more they'd be good with butter on them. Don't you think? What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. Cut a little bit of this. I'm going to put a little bit of butter. I love real butter. My father, growing up, my mother would give him the plastic cup they had. Sometimes he would, let's pretend I didn't do this, he would like the sweet butter, or we get the kind that is in pounds, you put in quarters. My mother would eat margarine, or that was before we realized that trans fats cause cancer and stuff. Then she would get like country clock or whatever they recommended we use for Weight Watchers. She was into that for a while. But because of my father, I got a taste for real butter. I love butter. Life's too short to not eat food that you love, right? Okay. This is what this looks like with butter on it. Mmm. Mmm. Just like a little bright. Okay. I know that's not classy. Yeah. Very good. Let's get a close up on my muffins.